Hey, yo, Red, you remember the record?
What are you talking about, man?
Man, I'm talking about Jump by Kris Kross.
Man, who could forget that, Jones? Man,
Bang that'll make you jump. Oh my God, like that's a banger. What up, Cornerstoners? My name is Johnny Warbucks, and I am here once again with Collision the Cop Red. And welcome to our 17th installment of Remember the Record. Today, 17, bro.
Yes,
We're getting
sir.
close to 20,
Yes,
man. I don't know,
sir.
we might have to do something big on 20. Today we are talking about the hit classic Jump, which was first released as a single back on February 6th, 1992.
92. So many came out.
92 was a crazy year. And when you listen to this album, it's just man, hold on, we'll get into it. Before we talk about any of that, in honor of the topic at hand and the passing of Mac Daddy Chris Kelly, I'd like to take and ask one moment of silence.
Yeah.
Man, R.I.P. Mac Daddy.
Man, you know, just to say how much of a, you know, like, I bought this album, and you know, when I was a kid, and both of them like helped me rhyme, and I wouldn't be here today if they weren't in my, you know, files of rhyme schemes and all that stuff. So, you know, mad props to him and anybody and everybody who's passed away. You know, so it is what it is, but for reals. Yeah, Kris Kross, man.
Kris Kross. We'll go into detail a little bit about what happened there, but yeah, before we start talking about Jump, let me ask you, Red, what have you been listening to recently?
Lords of the Underground.
Word.
Yeah, man.
Which ones? Like the
Here Come the Lords. Here Come the Lords. Yeah, man. The first album.
Chief Rock and all that.
You know, whatchamacallit, one of those heads was running for mayor from New Jersey.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
New Jersey.
New
Oh, wait, I think I heard about that.
Yeah, they were running from, well, I forgot who it is. I don't want to misquote the name, but look it up. And he lost. But it's still like... That's pretty wild,
But
then it's like Scarface too. Running for mayor or governor of Texas.
Wasn't Lord Jamal trying to get into that too?
I mean, you know, they're all political to a degree. But I mean, at least Lords of the Underground, I had no idea they were political.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dude,
what you been listening to, man?
Man, okay, so somebody had brought up on one of our hip-hop pages adjacent to the Rapper's Corner on Facebook about comparing it. They were trying to do a comparison, and then, you know, obviously the comment section went nuts after that. But Mobb Deep's Infamous versus the Dog Pound Gangsta's Dog Food, right? So like an iconic duo East and an iconic duo West.
Are we doing the albums?
Yeah, the whole album. And people are arguing about which one's better. Which one do you think is better? I mean, honestly, for me, I think it's no question that it's going to be Infamous as far as like its impact on me. Like
I gotta say, DPG, man.
Shook One's like my favorite song of all time.
Shook One's is an amazing song, but like, I don't know, like I kind of got into. I mean, but you see, you were more into Death Row than anybody.
He was an advocate. Dog Food was one of my genesis, man.
But I do like Dog Food, man.
I love Dog Food.
I do like it,
and it was good. So what I did is I created a playlist on Johnny Warbucks over at Spotify of Mobb Deep and Dog Food. I had to add a few things to Infamous because it is a shorter record. It had more skits. And so, like, where they do New York, I added in the Capone Noriega with Mob, the LA. And I added a couple of the unreleased records from the 25th anniversary of Infamous so that it just fleshes out. Because it's other records from that time.
Yeah, no, I'm going to check it out.
It's a dope little... And so what I just did is I did, like, one song DPG, one song Mob, and I went right down the album.
It's a really good comparison.
You can compare it.
Yeah, I mean, that idea, that's a good...
And it's a great listen, man. Straight up. Straight up.
No, it always is. Like, I mean, maybe because it's just I'm more biased from that time.
Yeah, no doubt.
But for me, I can listen to Mobb Deep or Dog Pound anytime, all day, every day, and still be like, yeah, like the same shit, man. Like,
those records go hard in the paint, dude.
You know it, man. You know it.
So with Jump, we're gonna go ahead and get into the stats right now. Mark the timestamps, man. Jump was done by Kris Kross. That's Atlanta, Georgia natives and friends since first grade.
No, I didn't know they were homies.
They were since first grade.
That's a beautiful thing.
Chris Mac Daddy, Kelly, and then Chris Daddy Mac Smith, right? They were discovered by a then only 19-year-old Jermaine Dupri.
Jermaine Dupri, man. We'll go into.
We're going to go into depth on
Jermaine
is getting his flowers today.
Yeah.
And they were also the first act to be signed to his brand new So Def record label. Mm-hmm. And then sadly, Chris Kelly, he died of a heroin cocaine overdose on May 1st, 2013.
Yeah, man. That really sucks, man, because it's young too.
They're young, man.
I mean, both of them.
They were young.
Both of them started young.
The Jump, they were 12 and 13 respectively.
And then unfortunately ended young too, man.
Yeah.
Because once Kris went, one Kris. The other one was just like, well, it's not Kris Kross anymore.
What was the name of that third album, Young, Rich, and Dangerous?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like some of Jermaine Dupri's most slept on production.
Man.
But they have an interview segment where they're talking about what's the dangerous element of this. They understood Young, they understood Rich. But what about dangerous? And they were talking about how they're dangerous because they've come up in this industry and they've got more ins and understanding and knowledge of the game. At such a young age, since they came out of high school, right?
Not even out of high school, middle school.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, and my point is that by that point,
yeah.
But it's just because they still caught up into the trapments of that rock and roll party life, that drugs and all that.
Now we're starting to see a lot of the dark side of the entertainment business.
People are really a lot of documentaries and movies and stuff based on them. We're seeing a lot
downfalls. You know what I mean?
A lot of heartbreak, man.
Yeah, a lot of downfalls, a lot of heartbreak, and you're just damn, man, maybe it's better that I didn't get signed. You know what I mean? Because
I don't know if I would have been able to do it. Particularly the way I was back then, man.
Yeah, you would have gone hard. You would have been a Jim Morrison.
I would have been a Jim Morrison. I probably would have, though. I probably would have.
The rapper Jim Morrison, man.
Made it out on the other side, man. This was recorded in 1991. The date of the single release was February 6, 1992. And the single included the radio edit, the extended mix, and their instrumental mix. And the B-side was Lil Boys in the Hood. All right?
Yeah.
The first album appearance was totally crossed out, March 31st, 1992. All right?
So, wait, go ahead with your stats.
They recorded it at Rough House Records, Philadelphia.
Rough House.
Rough House is Fuji, Cypress Hill.
Everybody. At one point, everybody went through Rough House.
There was a lot of cats that went through Rough House, man. The label that they were released on, of course, Rough House and Columbia, which was founded back in January 22, 1889. Did you know this? Columbia Records?
Wow.
1889, 135 years ago, as Columbia Phonograph Company in Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. 1889, bro.
What are they the record labels be like?
Produced by Jermaine Dupri and Joe the Butcher Nicolo, who was Rough House's founder. We've heard this name in our shows before. We will bring him back up here in a little bit. That whole Joe Nicolo, the Butcher joint. This song's writing credits is bananas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's 25 different people.
But you understand once you hear
the
actual song.
Yeah. Okay, and we're gonna break all that down too, man. We got Jermaine. So it's written by Jermaine Dupri, Joe the Butcher, and then I'm just gonna say everyone responsible for making the songs behind the samples. Because I was man, when I was first looking at it, I was man, B Real wrote some track show.
Go on.
Schoolie D.
Bear with us here.
All of these are from the samples, man. And once again, this will be on our Spotify playlist. This is this is production genius level stuff because when you hear this record, I only hear Jump, right? That
but it's so intricate
but there's layers to it. So it starts off with the main riff, which is from Ohio Players 1972's Funky Worm. That's that high-pitched noise throughout the record that's pitched up and sped up. And then the most famous is the Jackson 5's 1969 I Want You Back riff.
Yeah.
So that part at the very beginning of I Want You Back where it's ba-dum, dum,
yeah.
And then he just chops it, so it's dum, dum, dum.
Yeah.
Dum, dum, dum. Right. So that's it. That's that. Naughty by Nature's 1991 OPP gets a writing credit because At one point, Daddy Max says, "Yeah, you know me." Like he does the whole OPP thing. The samples from the bass line, multiple elements from Cypress Hill's 1991, "How I Could Just Kill a Man." So, particularly after like that wiggity wiggity whack, like you can kind of hear that like that kind of bass line that's coming from that. And at the very beginning when the record scratches, it's all coming from that Cypress Hill joint. The famously sampled drums and snares from the Honey Drippers, the 1973 "Impeach the President."
Yeah, okay,
right?
Okay, yeah.
That's all the drums and snares and everything. Now, there's also drums and bells that came from Schoolie D's 1986 Saturday Night. Remember Saturday Night?
Yep. Well,
so the high-pitched riff that we hear in the background is from James Brown's 1971 Escapism. That sound effect that you hear right after wickety wickety whack, and throughout you hear this like doom, doom, doom. It's Dougie Fresh, bro. Dougie Fresh off of his 1984 The Original Human Beatbox. And in that exact same spot in the background, there's also these sort of subtle additions to the beat. It's like the hi-hat and the synth. It comes from Digital Underground's 1989 The Humpty Dance.
Really?
Yeah.
So, man.
Schoolie D, OPP, we got Saturday Night.
Can I show this just on the screen just real quick? Look at that.
That's a paragraph of flipping samples, bro. like, and all of these people, when I was looking through who wrote the shit, are individually named, like the bass, anybody who made the instrumentals, all of those people, like, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And interestingly enough, neither Daddy Mac or Mac Daddy are listed. So the song has to have been written by Jermaine Dupri, who says, who is responsible. They say that he fully produced it with, backing from heavy input from Joe the Butcher. So my guess is that Jermaine wrote the song.
So
to his own beat.
So, are you finished with the things? Or?
Well, okay, yeah, we got to finish up the stats. Certifications. This record is a double platinum in the U.S., silver in the U.K. and France.
Double platinum.
Double platinum. And I'll add a side note to this too. On the charts, number 1 Billboard Hot 100, number 13 Billboard Dance Club Songs, number 2 in Billboard Dance Single Sales, number 2 Billboard Hot R&B and Rap Songs, number 1 Billboard Hot Rap Songs, and number 1 pretty much all over the world, from Australia, Canada, Europe, Finland, Ireland, New Zealand, Switzerland, Zimbabwe, you name it. This record is gigantic. They were the youngest hip-hop group to gain massive success with gold and platinum records at the ages of 12 and 13. And Jump was the first rap song to top the Billboard Hot 100 and held its position for 8 weeks.
That's crazy. I didn't know that it was like that. So, I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was
record.
And at the time,
I know
there was no internet. There was no internet.
This is radio.
There was no streaming.
But hip hop is now being plugged into all these different parts of the world.
Yeah. You start seeing that, and that's the same time as what my boy MC Hammer.
Yep. Vanilla Ice and them.
Yeah, because it becomes
this massive
an international thing.
Pop sensation, and people start listening to hip hop in places they would never expect to be heard.
Real quick though, I put these up because these are gangsters. And he's number one.
Number one, why you right behind Chris watching his back. People don't sleep. We have nothing bad to ever say. We never.
MC Hammer,
nothing.
You got to pray.
We got
to pray.
Hey. Let's turn the mother out with MC Hammer. Let's go. Oh man. So outside of that, let's talk about.
Okay, so
we'll get to the lyrics.
Kris Kross. And all that. What can I say, man?
What can we say?
First of all, this came out in 92, I was 10, either 9 going to 10 or 10 going to 11, depending on when it came out.
Yeah.
All right, so
you were 10, bro.
Yeah, I was a little kid, and by this time, I had already been into hip hop.
It came out in February.
Yeah, I was already had listened to Tone Loc, had listened to Black Sheep, had listened to this, that, the other. But when Kris Kross came out, it was the biggest thing because it was just yo, these kids are kids. You know what I mean? And they're not too much of a different age difference than what I was at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they could do it, as a kid, I'm like, these guys wrote their own lyrics. These guys did everything themselves, right? So I'm like, if they could do it, I can do it. And that's why, at the beginning of the show, I do gotta give it to Kris Kross because somehow or some way, subconsciously, consciously, they made me realize even more so that I could rap. You know what I mean? So like, because I was like, all right, I'm Latin, so then there's like Be Real, you know, and then they're young, they're kids. I'm a kid, so then there's Kris Kross. And then granted, there's been many of like young rappers throughout like our lifetime. And I think we were like the generation to first start seeing that, because like prior to us, I don't remember there being kids. It was
Roxanne Shante was young as
well, she was young. She was
young as hell.
Yeah. But I mean,
I don't remember how old she was, but when she came out doing Roxanne,
like 16 or 15.
She was young.
Right, that's true. But I mean, besides her,
not really.
Yeah, it was more like just grown-ups or whatever, right? So, or teenage or whatever, like, but not no 10 and 12. Even Roxanne didn't come out 10 and 12. So like I was like, all right, cool. And then I ended up buying the album and I heard their flows. And man, like there's certain songs that are just on point because they're like Jump and I Miss the Bus and you know, like things that are like made to be on point.
Yeah. Made for the radio. And all.
When you listen to that album,
the grit of it.
Fuck, man, the beats, the samples, the way they flow, you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything from everybody at the time.
Whether it's the instrumentation or the hooks or their bridges or just the way they rap.
And that's why it was such a genius album and genius production, because Jermaine was like, all right, this is what's hot, this is what's hot, this is what's hot, this is what's hot.
Picked it up from New York to Jersey to California. And
yeah, because you hear Ice Cube, you hear like Public Enemy, you hear like
I hear some LL Cool J. There's a parts where I'm like, this sounds like EPMD rapping.
You hear EPMD. You hear like everybody.
And all of these samples are like, you know, you hear samples from NWA, you hear samples from Dr. Dre, Ice Cube.
Yeah, man. And it's like and then you're gonna sample Ice Cube, man. You hear pretty hard, man. Like, you know, like
people sampling them. So like when we're listening to this album, and I want to say it's called Check the Rhyme.
Check the Rhyme. No,
Check the Rhyme.
No, it's the Way of the Rhyme.
Way of the Rhyme.
Oh
right?
my god.
Okay, so there's a line there where they're like, "You can get the finger, come and get some the middle." My whole life, I have listened to a lot of Pac, and Tupac on the Strictly for My album has this record where they sample that and it's slightly lower, and so my whole life I thought it was Salt and Pepper. It sounded like Salt and Pepper, and I'm like, when did they ever talk about flicking people off? And it's these little ass kids, man. Fucking Tupac gave them a blessing. I thought that was wild, bro.
So you got Kris Kross with kids, obviously, and like
the flow is gone.
The flow and the sampling is all that, but I think like they actually paved the way for like the rest of the kids. There were like maybe what was that group? Velvet Devote.
Yeah,
but that was before. That was after.
It was during.
It was like that time.
Velvet Devote. What was the name of that? Another Bad Creation.
Yeah, Another Bad Creation. I mean, you had Shaheem, which was badass, man. Yo, I'm scared of him. When I was a kid, I'm scared of him, man.
But then you had kids. I mean, there were still kids like I said, the Youngsters. The Youngsters is another great example. Mm-hmm. And then once we get later on down the road, that's where like your little Romeos, your little Bow Wows, and all of these other young cats were coming out. Yeah. Today there's the Wu kids, like all of their kids doing shit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like Kris Kross really opened the doors for the youth to like. I mean, because hip hop is a youthful thing to begin with, but we're talking about.
I mean, yeah. But think about it though, because this was a record that was played in clubs. This was out on. People were driving and listening to it in fucking boomboxes.
Gangsters were like, "Let me kill this motherfucker."
You want to jump, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? No.
Make you wanna
Joe, it's bananas to me because like this was a record that had the people going.
Yeah, man. No, and like you know, like there's particularities of this album where you hear. Where it's like the LL Cool J, like
almost going back to Cali,
that party
type of guy.
The party's like I'm walking through the door, and all these hot cuties, and like this and that, and like it's like the way he flows. It's like, yo, that's LL Cool J, like, you know. So LL Cool J at the time was and will always be to me one of the rap gods. But you see what I'm saying, Jermaine, and then so the story about Jermaine is interesting because Kris Kross comes out, becomes gigantic, and then Jermaine goes silent. I mean, he probably was producing shit in the meantime, but nobody really knows. And then all of a sudden, Atlanta starts becoming a thing.
His after Kris Kross, like he brings in the Brat, and the Brat had her moment there.
But that was still like a minute after.
It was a minute after, but I hear what you're saying. After that,
yeah, that's when
there's sort of like this lull, and then bang, he comes out and he
Yeah.
creates this Atlanta sound, like as like,
which is very
because
different.
this was all cherry picking from everywhere,
Yeah.
and now he's like formulated his sound.
Yeah, which is very different sound. That's what I'm saying. It's very different. It's the Atlanta sound. Not to be confused. Not to be confused with Outkast though, because Outkast, in my opinion,
Way different. That's more funky.
but they were like the Atlanta like pioneers, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%, man. I mean, honestly, I don't even think when listening to Kris Kross and
Yeah,
guys like
I don't get it.
I never made the association.
Yeah, no.
But they made it very clear, like we from ATL Georgia, like home of the ATL players. Like they always repped.
No, they did.
Where
But
they're
as a kid, like it was like they didn't. Like, we
You
didn't know.
don't you don't hear Kris Kross being like Atlanta's in the
Well,
building.
no, it's just because we didn't have.
Georgia's in the building.
We didn't have anything to compare it to. The South didn't exist as a rap entity,
And so it
when
had
we
to,
were-
in order to be able to make the hit universal, it had to appeal to everybody.
Even if they were saying we're from Atlanta, this and that, like it still didn't. Okay, you're Atlanta, you're okay, but this is either New York or California sound. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And they literally fused it together with these kids, man. And that Jersey sound too. Like,
yeah.
crazy.
No, there's a sample that Kris Kross uses throughout the album. If you hear the drums specifically, it's the same one. I always want to say Daz and Corrupt, but it's not Daz and Corrupt because it's that funk. It's that EPMD sample.
Oh, by you.
Yeah.
EPMD did it first,
yeah.
and then Ice Cube ran with it, and then Dr. Dre made a whole sound out of it.
If you listen to the album,
It's like Atomic Dog.
Listen to the drums, and you're gonna hear not the bass, that boom, 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 boom. You're gonna hear
That boom bap.
like you're gonna hear those drums throughout. So, as a producer, I caught that on. I was like, oh, I see what he did here. He took the same sample but chopped it up in different ways and made different songs from one sample, which is again like Jermaine. I gotta give you
that's
that props,
true, dude.
man.
Like you can hear it in different records and stuff. But then it's just like, again, he's like sampling all these West Coast cats, and then he's got all of these East Coast like complete
flows.
Mechanics.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I mean, as young as they are, like there's one record where they're like, oh man, what is it? It reminded me when I first heard it of like Nas being like, represent, like on Illmatic though. Warm it up, Kane. But they're like, warm it up, Chris.
Or the other one, that's Big Daddy Kane. But the other one's like, everybody rapping, but it's the rap.
Everybody trying to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this. And everybody trying to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like that.
So listening to that now, I'm hearing the whole fucking thing now. If we remember going back to one of our prior episodes, there's another jump.
So I wanted to wait until I got to the lyrics on it.
I'm not gonna get to that point yet.
Okay.
But like when I listen to not just Jump, but I listen to the album, I can't stop hearing like Cypress Hill's flow.
Little Boys in the Hood and The Way of the Rhyme, both of those in particular, almost sound like DJ Muggs records.
I mean, because you say that one line that you said with that.
Everybody trying to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like that. And everybody trying to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this.
And then you have and that's awesome. Chuck Rock, but then you have I've been doing all the dumb shit, because the shit just coming from
it. Charlie Sendo, who got writing credits on this record.
Coming at you.
And you don't want to get you. Yo, man, straight up and down, you can hear Cypress and Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube. Yeah.
Rapping all over the album.
Yeah.
Every beat.
They're not featured. They're not. Don't get us wrong.
Not on this one.
But you hear
and Tretch, like Naughty by Nature, like I can hear all three of them creating an entire album out of the instrumentals.
Yeah, man, and it would
have been a banger.
Amazing.
This was a banger.
Yeah.
But those would have been bangers, man.
Yeah.
Those would have been that different level of banger. But that would have been like.
Now the thing about Kris Kross, though, I haven't heard Kris Kross prior to like just now. Okay, I lied. I've heard Kris Kross as they gotten older, and there was a song with Jermaine Dupri where they're all dressed in like
all white.
Yeah, and like they're like at a club.
A hip hop tribute song. It's got the Brat on it.
Yeah, that's my jam right there.
Yeah,
right?
that was on their last album.
Yeah,
and that sample of that.
Yeah, the whole thing. But going back, like I haven't heard like them as kids since probably like 93,
since
94.
Because you and I listened to like The Bomb and stuff.
Yeah, like.
You were like, check this out. This is, you know who this is? This is the Jump Guys.
Yeah, but like 92, 94, like
rapping their asses.
And now it's 2024, so 30 years.
30 motherfucking years.
So like,
damn, son.
Yeah, man. So we listening to this Kris Kross like album, man. One like the split seconds at the very beginning of the song. It's like, oh shit, this is my jam.
Yeah. Oh, right. So you were like getting that catch up.
Yeah.
This is all brand new to me. A lot of it.
Really?
For this album. Dude, look, I mean, I love like these old school party records from this era. So I knew I missed the bus and I knew Jump, but I don't think I had ever sat down and listened to their album before we began this show.
Get out.
Hey. But my point, hey, listen, the point is that like it was really like the whole time, like it's our fault that we always compare stuff into other artists, but the whole time I'm like, man, this sounds like some shit that Be Real would fucking kill. This sounds like some shit that Ice Cube would have been on. This sounds like some shit that EPMD made. Like LL Cool J would have rocked this shit during that era.
Right.
That early 90s, Panther style kind of like.
You do hear a lot of like the break beats, like
all of that.
Everything. It's like the scratches, and I'm like, yo, Jermaine, and for me, look, like I have no dislike of Jermaine Dupri's like sound. I guess you could say that he created for the Atlanta sound of whatever Jermaine Dupri sound. But I like this sound a lot better.
Oh shit, yeah, dude, yeah. Look, the Atlanta stuff is like is where he gets in his bag. But like this is where we're like, it's because again he's pulling from so many places, and so it's just very. It's not that it's safe. It's not that it's user friendly, but it appeals to all avenues of that early 90s hip hop sound. From all over, dog.
No, it's such a great album. I'm so glad we got to listen to it again. It brings back so many memories. And it also shows you like, although they were kids, and they talked a lot about kid stuff, like I Missed the Bus. And
right. That I Had a Bad Dream.
Yeah. But you know, they weren't Shaheem.
No, they were definitely not Shaheem.
But they
the little boys in the hood.
Yeah, they stood their ground. And like, you know, I never thought of them as like, oh, like a joke. Now the youngsters, I'm like, all right, like, you know what I mean? Like
a little too hard in the paint.
Yeah, and like little Bow Wow and Little Romeo, I'm just like, all right, like, hey, you're like, what's the word? Like Depo babies, you know?
Okay.
Like you're you know, your pops is fucking Master P. Of course you're gonna make a fucking song.
Yeah.
Your cousin Snoop Dogg, of course you're gonna make a fucking song.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you know, like I that's why I go to Shaheem and Kris Kross a little bit more, because it's like you had to have skills.
You had to have actual talent. And these guys can spit.
Yeah, they can spit.
Word.
They can spit.
100% they can spit, and that's no joke. I want to talk a little bit about this music video.
Hold on, we're just glazing over one of the most important things here. Their fashion.
That's what I was going to get to with the video, dog. Because you're right, it's hyper important. We asked him, I was like, man, should we wear our clothes backwards for the show? And he was like, nah. So real quick, we're going to break down the music video, and at the very beginning we'll talk about that. So this is directed by filmmaker Rich Murray, who did over 125 music videos for artists such as Schoolie D, Roxanne Shante, Fugees, Arrested Development, to Monica, to the Spin Doctors, Jeff Healey, to Billy Ray Cyrus, right?
Wow, this
so
guy's guy.
He is perhaps the only director to have a #1 video in 4 different genres all at once.
Yeah.
This is Rich Murray. Like, yo, so this dude is
cool.
Apparently like, shout out to motherfucking Rich Murray, man.
Doing his thing.
And this video is pretty dope. So it begins with Kris Kross, you know, and they're rocking their trademark like short braids and backwards clothing throughout the video, particularly athletic wear.
Okay,
this is a fashion thing.
Before we get into the rest of the video, let's just point this out. This was such a fashion thing that I had a Bugs Bunny and Taz like shirt as a kid with their clothes on backwards. Like Bugs Bunny had the big baggy jeans.
Yo, word.
And Taz, I think, had like a jersey or something, but it was backwards.
They were Kris Krossed out.
Now Kris Kross from TV shows to shirts, everything. That was their thing. It was like these kids are wearing their pants backwards. You know what I mean?
Quite often their shirts, they would wear their pants backwards.
Yeah. So it was like a really like pop culture thing. It wasn't just like, oh, these kids are just gonna fucking be different and dress this way. No, people started to dress like that. You know what I mean? Like when he called me up, like brought back memories because like I was like, man, one year out in school, I was like, I'm gonna dress like that.
I knew. I had a high school friend, man. Shout out to my boy David.
I just put names out.
That's it. That's all. I'm not David. David. That's it.
David. That's it.
He was Spanish.
Oh no.
That's all I'll say. He was Latino. Latino.
Just to give you guys a little inside joke here. We got Johnny Scallops here.
And Saffron Kris.
Saffron Kris. It's a little inside joke to some of our fans.
Dude, so we got some great AI art that we're gonna put up on the screen right now for you.
No, we're not.
Yeah. Kids gonna love it. Kids gonna love it. But like, look, he told me that he was like, him and one of his boys was like, let's go to school with our clothes backwards. And he did it once because at one point he had to go to the bathroom and it was a thing. Yeah. And it was a thing. Yeah, and I totally understand.
It's like, how do you go to the bathroom?
You have to go sit down. You got to pull your pants down. You got to go into the stall and when you're in high school, you go into that stall, you got to shut the door on, man.
And you got
heads all, it's too much heat.
And the one, no, but like,
you got your belts backwards.
What about like your
pockets?
No, your fucking what's his name? Your little buddy that would go to the bathroom with you.
Oh man! Yo, with the pass?
Yeah, no, it's like your friend. There's accountability.
Yeah. Make sure that you were safe or whatever. You got back in class.
Yeah. Where's Chris? Yeah. He's still taking off his pants.
He's still trying to figure out how to go pee right now. So what's funny is like one of the very opening lines that they say is like, don't try to compare us to another bad little fad. Now there's deeper meanings to that and I'm going to get into that in a minute, but I will say it was a fad. It did. Kris Kross
stopped wearing their clothes backwards. They were like older too.
The very next album, I think they stopped doing the crossed out look as they referred it to. So look, in the video, we got the backwards clothes, right? That's a big part of it, but they can be seen turning around, like doing like reverse things, walking backwards for all the visual Kris Kross effects.
I feel like everybody in the 90s walked backwards.
Dude, in the music videos, I'm gonna bring up a couple other cliches here in a minute, but the backup dancers are just literally just jumping. Like there's just silhouettes of just people just jumping. Other things that involve jumping are featured, like girls jumping rope, kids popping ollies on skateboards, and jumping on skateboards, men performing basketball slam dunks. To even the jumping of the lowriders, right?
Everything had to do with lowriders.
Dude, man, again, that's a cliche. I'm gonna bring all of these up in a minute. But look, it was also surprisingly a record snow day in Atlanta when they went to record the video. So Rich utilized this visual aesthetic for backdrops throughout the video, specifically at that baseball field where they're all out in the snow.
I didn't know.
They're doing all that. Yeah, it was a fluke because that never happens.
Yeah,
but they were like, let's fucking go.
That's why I always thought they were like New York.
And it works for them in that element, right? Because now it gives you that northern East Coast like vibe.
And as a kid, the East Coast was the only real thing.
That's what you were. Yeah, when you're talking about hip hop, it's New York, it's Cali. That was about it, you know.
And Cali was just emerging.
Yeah, they were still getting fresh, man.
New York had already been there for like 10, 15 years.
And WA had just kind of gotten to their peak at that point.
Yeah.
Ice Cube and all of them are starting to do their own things. You know, early Drake. But anyway, so let's talk about.
See what I wonder though. I mean, I don't even want to get into it though. I'm like, as a producer, like. Jermaine Dupri, how did he he must have paid a big penny for all those rights for those
samples?
For the NWA, for the Ice Cube.
Word, man. I mean, maybe, and I'd have to look back on this because there was a time where you could be very hush hush about it, and you could avoid it because you didn't necessarily know. Like, I don't think.
But
that,
I mean, for a person that's in the industry like that.
But to get the Jackson 5 beat.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the real big one for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if like that whole like royalty and sample clearance thing was in its full submission yet. I don't remember. That's a good that would be a great topic for an episode, like just talking about sampling and how that all evolved.
Pretty hardcore.
But like, yeah,
I think this song and Jacking for Beats are like the most like
expensive records ever.
Yeah, man.
I'm jacking your beat and paying big ass money for it. Y'all all getting paid after this. I can say whatever I want about you.
Right.
Because it was a Drake Day only mean easy pay day. Like it was basically the same shit. So okay,
it's
beyond
like
that,
in the clubs with the funny haircuts.
the funny haircuts. So we have some real classic '90s tropes here, heavily included in this video, right? Like these kids did it all. You remember how in the '90s, like everybody when they rap, they would do like the robot thing. I'm coming up swinging and they try to stop this. Like they do this. Dude, that's how you. If I'm in a music video, I'm definitely waving my hands up and down like fuck it, this man. Like that choreography is everywhere. That whole affirmation lowrider, like you got to rap in front of your lowrider. You know what I'm saying? Like and doing this thing with your feet. Yo, how about rapping in front of a burning trash can? We got that, you know. You got silhouettes and white rooms, like pale white rooms. Check, we got it.
It's like every scene.
It's a piece of something that we've already seen before. And I mean, I get it. You want the mass appeal?
And there you go. And that's why
that was recipe for success.
And it became mass appeal, man.
100%. I mean, record breaking stuff.
Yeah, well, I can't judge nobody.
Now, because I know that we're getting down to it, I want to get into the lyrics, and I mean, this is one of those records where a highlighted lyric isn't necessary because this is a radio joint, and it's more about like style.
Yeah.
You know. However, once again, as we have learned over the course of this show, every like other episode, we go back to one of these giant pop hits. This was a diss track.
See, this is where it becomes so. This is the beauty of the show because you're like instant in the membrane. Like, Diss track. What was it?
Jump around. Diss track.
And,
there was a bunch of them. I mean, there was a couple other ones too. But those are the ones that automatically stand out. And you're like, and listen, if you go back to our House of Pain Jump Around.
You should. If you're gonna watch episode, this, you should go back to that.
Yeah, you should definitely listen to one and then the other, or this one and then go back if you don't recall it, because we go into detail about how that was a diss record because Everlast mentions this guy Joe the Butcher, who at the time we weren't really hip to like who that was.
Yeah, we do.
He's the founder of Rough House Records, but he calls him Joe the Biter because he stole.
And you can hear it in the House of Pain Jump Around.
So like they played Jump Around for them, you know, and they were like, we're trying to get this released or whatever.
I'm the cream of the crop. I rise to the top. And every your pick is a pig is a cop. I better get a Terminator. Like
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Try to put me out like it's
but I ain't going out like the man. Sonic the Hedgehog. I almost got a tattoo of Sonic the Hedgehog. Thank God, man. See, this why no regrets. No regrets. Like, you know what I mean? I'm good. Hey, it didn't happen. But look. So that was House of Pain dissing them because they played this record for Joe to like get it published and sell.
There was a little bit of
Joe said, "Nah, we're gonna pass on it," because he was already working on this project with the kids, and then the very first song he puts out. Jump. And so like they were pissed.
Yeah,
they were House of Pain was very upset, but they didn't want to go and diss little kids and be like, fuck you little kids, on the record. So they went for Joe on that. But these guys, being children, they went for the kids. So this record is another Bad Creation diss record. And so once again, that very opening line that I said was don't try to compare us to another bad little fad. What was the fad that they were doing? All right, so in the first, a couple of lines here for Shots Fired, all right? And everything is to the back with a little slack. He's talking about the crossed out style, right? Because Inside Out is wiggity wiggity whack.
Okay.
Inside Out.
Rewatch the video and you're going to see that Inside Out
Yep. So
Inside Out.
ABC, and at the intro of this album, they're like, "This ain't no other ABC bull BS.
Yeah.
This ain't no ABC bull crap.
Creation.
This is not another bad creation." So what? This is something different. Kris Kross is something different, and they wanted to separate themselves. So they diss ABC by saying that Inside Out thing is wiggity wiggity whack, because in the song Aisha, all right, that's Bell Biv DeVoe, Michael Bivins, people's another bad creation. But in their video,
you can see
it's very similar. But the difference is that Bell Biv DeVoe is like New Jack Swing and all that, and so they're doing that whole mental hip hop smoothed out with the R&B twist,
and the choreography,
all that. But in the video, their outfits, their pants in particular, are inside out, and you got their pockets hanging out and all this stuff, and so they were, they themselves are doing the crossed out thing.
It's interesting.
So like, and not only is it a battle on wax, it's a battle on fashion.
It's interesting though, because
neither of them stuck.
This is where I have issues with record labels. Okay,
they probably pushed it.
Like they pushed Pac and Biggie.
Like, you need to talk about this so that we separate you from them.
They push East and West.
That's possible.
And it's like it's well for the money and all for the clout, but yo, man, these are kids, man.
Trying to get them into some beef.
Yeah, like what if they, God forbid one of them got shot, which they didn't, but I'm just saying, like, you got Biggie and Tupac shot.
Yep, you definitely got Biggie and Tupac shot.
You know what I mean? You definitely pushed on the East-West, like, hardcore.
A lot of rappers today, man. So many cats. I mean, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle in them. Like, there's mad heads, man. And if it's not violence, it's drugs, like what happened to Kelly. You thought this would have been a great example, a cautionary tale. Yeah. And then there goes Juice WRLD, and other cats like that.
And that's the thing. It's like,
it's a shame, man. It's an absolute shame.
I really, and I said it before, maybe it was a smart idea not to get signed, man, because, like...
We would have been all about that. I would have been dissing people just left and right. Lord knows.
I would have been definitely, I'd be like, I have my people that I hate, and I would have gone hard on them. But at the end of the day, for what? For the record companies to make money?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean... Don't get me wrong. I love Kris Kross and I love the fact that they are a thing and they came out. And I love Jermaine Dupri putting it out there, but at the cost of,
nothing happened here. But the only thing that happened is that ABC faded into the wind and Kris Kross faded into the Everest mountaintops.
So I mean, thank God that happened. But I'm just saying, it's like the record labels they'll exploit you, MCs, man, producers. Do your thing and keep it to your close-knit friends, man.
I'd have to check, do a deeper dive into some interviews to see if they themselves were like, this is something that we wanted to do to separate ourselves. Because I know artists do that.
And the danger element.
Yeah, Dangerous was a part of that in their third album.
Well, it was because they had the interview and they were like, you have the young, you have this, but what's the danger? And he was like, well, we've been in the business for the longest time, which they've seen things.
Yep.
So, I mean, at the time of the great downfalls that we're experiencing right now within the entertainment industry, that's the only reason I bring this out, because I'm looking at Puffy, man. I'm like, yo, what happened? You know what I mean?
What happened?
So thank God that these cats came out at a different time, because...
So just a couple more of those shots towards another bad creation. So you also hear him say that R&B rap is bullcrap, is what I'm dumping. Ain't nothing soft about Kris Kross. We all that. So when they ask, do they rock? Say believe that at the ending of the first verse, right? Associating again, because that whole New Jack Swing style is that R&B kind of element. Whereas they're saying, do they rock? Like, I want to rock. They're trying to take it to. They're trying to affiliate themselves with the Run DMCs, the Beastie Boys, all those artists that were doing that more rock and roll kind of tinge to it.
I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MC, you call me sire. To rock up my kingdom, you must use fire. I won't stop rocking till I retire. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Now, so act like you know, and don't be claiming that it's mental. Because again, that's definitely a shot. Because one, ABC has an interlude called "Mental" on their door. But again, when Bell Biv DeVoe was explaining New Jack Swing to the people, they called it mentally hip hop, smoothed out with the R&B tip, right? That was their whole selling point. So that's going at the whole, they're going at New Jack Swing, right?
And New Jack
with
Swing,
that pop appeal to it.
I fucked with New Jack Swing.
Yeah, man, me too, man.
Yeah.
No, I have Look on Spotify. I got 3 100-track New Jack Swing mixes. You know what I'm saying? Like that era of music is just that era, and so a lot of cats might consider it bad music. People that weren't a part of that are listening to it like, man, this is corny stuff.
Look, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Like
that's one of my favorite eras of music.
If I had a girl, man, I'd be taking her to the Belleville the Boat Show, and that's still going on, man. So I mean,
it's Friday night.
Yeah, for them to still keep doing it, man, I'll forget about it.
Just got paid
on the west side.
To my people, since you're with me, where you at?
Don't ever. No, TQ, man, QT or whatever.
TQ, man.
TQ, man. Like,
he's not cutie.
Hey, man,
TQ, man. No, he's not cutie. No, he's TQ.
You don't even know.
God, you got me all fucked up. I'm about ready to Google this shit.
No, like for real.
I'm putting this fucking shit right here. It's TQ, man.
But for real, like,
I'm wrong, man.
Like the R&B, kind of like feel to the hip hop '90s, whether West Coast or whether East Coast, is some of my favorite shit. I ain't gonna sit here and be like, nah, fuck that. Like, nah, it's good shit, man. I'll listen to the hell out of, like, I ain't saying no names, but I'll just listen the hell out of that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, boy. Man, shout out to New Jack Swing. Shout out to, the hip hop rock, hip rock.
Okay, that's where I'm just like a little bit.
Although where we start getting into like new metal and stuff like that, dude, that's my era too. Though.
See, like if you talk about hip hop with like shit, I go more like Ice-T.
I mean, yeah,
like Sen Dog.
Yeah,
and like Rammstein if it was like a rapper to it. You know what I mean?
If there was a rapper to it, that would be your band.
That'd be my band.
Yo, listen, man, we are at that 14-minute mark. So we got to get into the games, bro. We could talk about this particular record and this era of music and this album. We could talk about this forever, and we can still break down some more on the album.
You're like going to break down some more right now?
We're going to do it right now. I just wait, we still got time to get some more of that jump in your life. No, okay, so check it out. So singles, the first game is singles only, aside from the hit single Jump. What other chart-topping single is your favorite by Kris Kross and why? We're going to put it up here on the screen. We got Warm It Up, I Miss the Bus, It's a Shame, All Right with Supercat, I'm Real, The Bomb with the Brat, It's the Bomb, Tonight's the Night, and then Live and Die for Hip Hop, which is that record with the white suits and the Brat and everybody's on it.
Oh, man.
So those are the singles that they have released in their time as Kris Kross. Warm It Up, I Miss the Bus, It's a Shame, All Right, I'm Real, The Bomb, Tonight's the Night, Live and Die.
I really do like It's a Shame.
Dude, Shame is dope though. It's that's an era sound to it. Shame with the bells.
But I also do like the one they're just all in white.
Live and Die for Hip Hop is dope. That beat.
But it's like so. It's different. It's
smooth,
chill.
That whole album was more smooth.
Yeah, and then the other one's a little bit more like
rowdy.
Yeah, like rowdy.
Rah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with those two. I know it's one, but I can't because it's just different ages.
So Shame from that era.
Shame from that era.
And then Live and Die for Hip Hop?
For the new era, right.
But I'm going to do two eras. I'm going to get just further behind, and I'm giving it to Warm It Up.
Warm It Up is a great song. Warm It Up, Chris. I'm Chris.
Dude, because that's how, all of those call and respond. I want to be at that concert. Warm It Up, Chris.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying?
I'll be like, I was in school when I'm like, Warm It Up, Chris. Like, what do you say? What do you say to me?
It's my theme song, bitch.
I'm walking into the class. Warm It Up, Chris.
Yo, it's history time.
Shit. My history book.
And then for me, it's definitely The Bomb. The Bomb with the
Bomb is great.
The Brat fucking kills this joint.
The Brat is
the beat is tight. The flows, they're more mature. The sound is more mature. The Bomb is dope.
I gotta give it to the Brat too. Another one from Jermaine Dupri, man.
Shit,
man.
That chick is a beast.
Yeah,
one of my first favorite female MCs. Like the Brat is nasty.
We got to see her, man.
Yo, that's right. We were at the joint over there.
Yeah.
No government name.
Yeah, no government name. Look, I ain't gonna lie. When she came out,
she did her thing.
Like both the girls that had hots on end up being like not. One is Queen Latifah.
Sorry, Saffron Chris, the seat's taken.
Queen Latifah. The other one's the Brat. Let me get my dog.
Yeah, well, both of them are vicious MCs and beautiful women, and they crush their joints, man. I have nothing but love for both of them, though. So that's that one. We're gonna switch into the deep cuts real quick. Deep cuts, aside from the songs that garnered chart positions and/or music videos, what is your favorite record off of Totally Crossed Out?
Oh, see that.
So we got we're gonna put this up here on the board here once again. We got Lil Boys in the Hood, The Way of Rhyme, Party, We're in the House, A Real Bad Dream, Can't Stop the Bum Rush, You Can't Get With This, Party, the Crossed Out mix, and then Jump, the extended mix. I'm gonna say you can't use Jump, the extended mix, because obviously Jump is the jam.
But that would have been one of them.
Of course, because I think you even said you prefer the extended mix to the original.
That was my jam. But I do like Party a lot.
Party's fun.
And I do. Which one's the one with the sample with James Brown? The boom boom boom.
Oh, okay. So that's The Way of Rhyme. Because James Brown's also sampled on this record.
But that's not on that.
The Way of Rhyme. No, it's on this list.
Oh, then The Way of Rhyme is my number one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Way of Rhyme.
Yeah, my number one is The Way of Rhyme.
I love that A Real Bad Dream, the instrumental.
Yeah.
Is NWA.
Yeah.
These little kids rapping about having a bad dream over a beat. NWA had a song called Just Don't Bite It.
You remember that song?
Oh man, at the beginning he's like, yeah, bitch, you biting shit. As your bitch doesn't know how to suck it. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a product of its time, and it's god awful misogynistic bullshit. Don't matter, just don't bite it. It's the world's biggest dick.
No, not that, but it was like they were like in the car. The beat was really, and it was Easy.
What?
I can't remember the name of the song, but it's like
in the video.
No, this is a different song completely.
I hear you.
But no, there's no video. It's just
a song.
Like he's having sex with a girl in the car.
I can't remember. My other big, like, misogynistic, sexist fucking song by Eazy-E that everybody just has a guilty pleasure for is Easily Give Me That Nut.
Oh yeah. That's. I mean, Sir Puff's also my favorite.
Fucking hilarious, bro. It's a ridiculous song.
You know, my favorite X-rated song is Kalashnikov Red.
That's a filthy fucking record, man.
It's awesome.
That is not that song is not Christian.
It's Christian household.
On the day of our Lord, no less. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Yo, so like, yeah, I mean, all of these records are super dope, but I do think the Way of Rhyme, dog. Like,
it's funny.
That beat.
It's funny because
give me that old school beat.
We were talking about Bell Big the Bow. And earlier, before we did the show, we're like, so what's the line? Because we don't want to cross the line where it's just going to be straight up R&B, rap. And I was like, well, I think the line should be me and Mariah.
Red lead babies and pacifiers. Hold the dog the lion. Yo, bro. One of these days, we might even talk about that record. You gotta be. I mean, that'd be an hour long of us just repeating that one line. So now we're gonna get into some verses, man.
Yeah, man.
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pit a couple of songs against each other and declaring one better than the other, and not necessarily songs. We're also gonna do artists and some other things. So we're gonna start off with, this is a challenging one, Mac Daddy versus Daddy Mac.
See, okay. I feel like Mac Daddy had like more chill. Like
when he was getting like older, he sounded a little more like, he was definitely more laid back.
But Daddy Mac, I feel like, has always been energetic. He's never stopped, even when they got older.
Well, Mac Daddy's the one that opened up the song, and he's the one who's like, because the inside out, wiggity wiggity whack, and all that stuff. Yeah. I'm going Mac Daddy personally. You think it's Daddy Mac though?
I go Daddy Mac, man. I go Daddy Mac.
I'd like to see if anybody in the comments are like, well, which one's which, man? But like, I'd like to hear your response on who's the flyer MC, dude.
I mean, both of them.
They're both. I mean, together they sound as one.
As a great MC, right? So they're both 50-50, So it's hard for me to be like, oh, this one's better than that one, because they're both they kind of feed off each other.
They're 100%
symbiotic. You know what I mean? Like you can't really.
It would be kind of weird. Like I mean, that's just me. Like hearing just one of them alone.
Yeah.
Like you feel like they need to be there going back and forth.
Yeah, and like I feel like it's always just sounding right with the both of them like that.
So then let's get into their albums real quick. What about Totally Crossed Out versus The Bomb versus Young, Rich, and Dangerous?
I mean, you know, Totally Crossed Out just has every song is a song that I like. Banger. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that easily. But there are great songs on both.
It's tough, man, because The Bomb is a way more mature sound.
Yeah.
And
they're great, but I'm just saying it's like to me it's every song on that album.
And it's definitely like a very cohesive piece.
Yeah, everything has like that same kind of energy to it. You know what I mean? So.
And Young, Rich, and Dangerous, they kind of start going into that R&B tip a little bit, man.
Yeah.
For all that stuff they were trying to shit on in the first album. No, it's super dope. I'm just saying, like, hey, you know, your clothes ain't backwards no more. Like, you've moved on from that era, like, those fads or whatever.
One thing that we never talk about is the age difference between us and them.
Well, so they were 12 and 13, and it was released in 92.
Okay, so I was 10. So that's like 2-3 years.
I was about 10 years old. They were older than us.
Like,
by a couple of years.
Yeah. So that's why I was like,
and by 10, 92? Nah, man, I wasn't rhyming yet.
Yeah, I mean, I was
5 years out.
I was doing my thing, but it was like, I had a cat that was black and I wore a hat.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer into hip hop, which this show has heard me say 1,000 times now, or at least 17 times. but so I mean, I was late to the game, but I mean, I took that and like went back because this is a record I heard on MTV, on BET, on VH1. Like this is something that I saw sitting upstairs in the living room, like either like having breakfast, get ready for school, or like
I missed the bus.
Yeah, or when I missed the bus, I'm like, damn, I feel that shit. That guy didn't make you miss the bus, bro. I shouldn't have stayed and finished watching the stupid ass video. Yo, all right. So now we're gonna do a little bit of a riff off of what we did with the House of Pain one, because this time I'm trying to keep it exclusively to the jumps. So we got Kris Kross Jump versus House of Pain's Jump Around versus Ice Cube's Gangsta's Fairy Tale 2. Now everybody jump, 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 jump. Now everybody jump.
Okay, see now you made it like okay. So I always gotta go with Ice Cube.
You gotta go with Ice Cube over Jump Around and Jump.
Gangsta's Fairy Tale.
It's hilariously good.
It's well written.
It's a very clever ass record.
So I give it.
Ice Cube tells the stories how they should go.
I give it to Cube, but then surprisingly after that, Kris Kross is last, man.
Kris Kross is last.
Yeah, because I mean, Jump Around, it's got that.
Oh no, man! It's just a fucking banger.
Yeah,
I love Jump Around, dude.
And not to mention, it's like
subject matter is more mature.
And that
the dissing is a little more subtle.
The rhyming is. I love Everlast, man.
Everlast was hard to make.
Like
I think I have more fun watching the Jump video than I do the Jump Around video.
Yeah.
Only because of just like how hardcore 90s.
Right, but Jump Around video was still good.
It's super dope. It's like the parade and they're in the bar and they're wearing all the Celtic shit.
Irish.
Yeah.
Like all that shit. It's good.
Like, shotgun.
No, but I definitely. That's my order. I mean, I love Kris Kross, man, but in this, they're gonna have to come in a little bit late.
All right, fair enough, man. I'm with it. Hey, listen, I would love to hear your responses on what you think is best. This is gonna probably be the harder one because some people might what you declare could be blasphemy. So here we go.
Why do me? Like you? It's all based on.
No, me too, man. I'm in trouble here too. Oh, but people would understand my choice though, because I am who I am. Blah blah blah. But look, Rough House record bangers. We got Cypress Hill's Black Sunday, Psycho Realm's Psycho Realm album, the Fugees' The Score, Tim Dog's Penicillin on Wax versus Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill versus Wyclef's Carnival.
I can't do this.
Which one is the best one? Which one needs to fucking disappear from hip hop forever?
I can't do this.
That's blasphemy, right? Look at the list up here, guys. We'll show the album covers. No, we'll show them the album cover. They can't read that shit. I ain't reading that shit. Cypress Hill's Black Sunday, Psycho Realm, The Score, Penicillin on Wax, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, Carnival.
Okay, can I break it down?
Yeah, explain it to me.
All right. So Cypress Hill Black Sunday versus Psycho Realm, I go with Cypress Hill Black Sunday.
So that's so far the one on top.
Because it was like that album that made my thing.
We're crossing out Psycho Realm.
Okay, then we have Fugees and Cypress Hill.
Black Sunday versus The Score. The problem is, and I think I understand the complication here, is that we grew up basically being almost audibly raised by Black Sunday. And that is the challenge. However, The Score is noted for being a top 50 hip-hop album of all time on countless lists.
Okay, so this
is where the blasphemy can come into play.
Cypress Hill flow, as opposed to music, is better than the Fugees. The Fugees' music, as opposed to flow, is better than Cypress. But who do I listen to more? Cypress.
I listen to more Cypress.
Yeah.
Which one needs to remain on
this list?
On the list. If we're preserving hip hop, The Score is fathoms more important than Black Sunday. There's no argument in my side of the conversation. I'm picking Black Sunday because it's the album that really fucking hit me. And this is where the blasphemy comes into play, because people are going to be like, what the fuck, man? How can you just like write off The Score like that? But this is tough.
No, you didn't need to write it off like that.
We're not writing any of these on the
fucking write it off like that.
Even Tim Dog's Penicillin on Wax is a fucking nasty ass album. It's the one that's getting crossed off first off the list, probably. Yeah. Look.
All right, let's keep going.
I love Wycliffe.
All right.
I love Wycliffe.
Touch your face.
But I think Carnival's going to drop.
We go back to Cypress and Tim Dog.
Penicillin on Wax. I think there's no contest.
Well, no, Penicillin's out. I mean, Cypress thing.
It's a dope. Hey, fuck Compton. That was mad controversial. And Tim was a hard ass rapper, dude. Now, a lot of people don't like him, though.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
This is the real big, bad blasphemy.
Okay, so Miseducation of Lauryn Hill versus Cypress Hill. I'm gonna go with Miseducation.
Oh boy, that's fair.
Because
she's earned her keep.
She's not only rapping, she's singing, and that's something that none of these guys can do.
That's 100%.
You know, so and then from Miseducation to Wyclef had two great songs in that album that I really fucks with. 90% of the Miseducation, and the singing aspect. So right now,
just the impact of it.
Yeah, because for me,
there was a shift in hip hop music.
Right, I'm more conscious, and that's the thing.
Changed everything.
It's like I used to be. I mean, I've always liked KRS-One. I've always been like balanced with my gangster and my conscious. But when Lauryn Hill came out, it was like
the radio page.
Yeah, it was a new level of consciousness. Most Def, Common.
Yes,
everybody just started coming up.
Yeah, people like Pharoah Montreux had Underground started coming back.
Black Star, every started coming out like with the rapidness. So Lauryn Hill, movie star, great singer, great rapper, great musician. Give it Lauryn Hill.
All right, Miseducation Lauryn Hill takes the win on that.
Yeah,
I think that most people that are generally listening to this are going to agree with you, and I'll leave it at that. That puts me in the safe place because I'm going with Black Hill. All right, now we're gonna let the kids have their chance, man. It's time for the kids. From that era, I wanted to make sure that I threw in the ones from that era, around that era, and then of course, like some of the big dogs. We got Roxanne Shante, we got Shaheem, ABC, which is another Bad Creation, the Youngsters, and Lil Wayne.
I mean, for me, this is easy. Shaheem is number one. After Shaheem, Roxanne.
Shaheem.
Yeah, after Shaheem, Roxanne, and the other two, get out of my face. Get out of my face.
It's controversial because I know, like, it's like I have to have Lil Wayne on the list because
he was that kid who shot himself. Yeah, that's why.
He was the kid that
didn't know how to. Who was gangster but didn't know how to shoot a gun.
He's beloved by the masses.
Hey, it is what it is.
Beloved by the masses.
I ain't no mass.
You ain't no mass, huh? Shaheem all day, man. Shout out to Shaheem. Wu-Tang forever, man. Hey, listen, man. We have passed this this time slot. We gotta shut it down, man.
Yeah, we do.
We gotta shut it down. So here's what I'm gonna say. One, thank you very much for listening to the show. Please like, subscribe, comment, and gravitate people to the YouTube channel. And anyone that loves hip hop in your life, your fans yourselves, man. You got records that you want to hear? Put them in the comments. Make suggestions.
Yeah, we want to engage.
We want to engage with people. So we hope that you play the games. Who's the better MC? Daddy Mac Daddy? Is it totally crossed out versus the bomb? What are we doing? Is it jump around? Like, we want to hear your comments in the comment section about what your favorites are. These were tougher ones, man. Particularly that Rough House, because Rough House record people don't recognize.
Rough House, oh boy.
They were no joke. I mean, listen to some of that. That was just a taste of the roster.
Yeah, taste.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, but yeah, man, for real, check us out on all the streaming sites. All pushing the Carvery, Johnny Warbucks, aka Johnny Scott. So we do what we do, man, and we always represent hip hop. We gotta feed the culture. Even my dog over here represents hip hop. He's got to feed the culture. We, as in general, we all got to feed the culture, man. So
absolutely.
Let's just keep doing it and show us mad love. We show you mad love back, man.
I think we should do it again next month too, man.
Yeah.
Next month is May.
Yeah,
May, right?
Yeah, it is May.
Any holidays or anything?
I think there's like a major holiday, but I'm not too sure which one it is.
Maybe I should
ask my mom's.
I'm gonna ask my mom's.
Yeah,
maybe write a letter.
Well, my mom might know.
Man, I don't know, man.
Please.
West Coast, Wu-Tang.
Oh, just knock everything down.
Dude, what happened? Did we just lose the show?